welcome back to Wendy's Colouring, and today, well, I was going to do this as my favourite things from 2024, books and equipment, but having just fished the books out, I thought this video is going to last for ages. Maybe I should do these as two separate ones. So this is going to be the books one, my favourite books of 2024, all of them, they're all my favourite. Any book is my favourite. Yeah, I've actually found this quite difficult, picking out kind of, I'm going to say 10, but they're not because they're sets. So there's more than 10 books, but they kind of fall under the same illustrator. And sometimes one is never enough, is it? So they're not all new books, newly published books, but there were books that were new to me during 2024 and have kind of fallen into in my head. Yeah, I really like working in that book. It's a great book. So there's a few different ones. I'm going to start off with PDFs. I don't buy a huge amount of PDFs, but I do like this particular person's PDFs. I always say it wrong. Nguyen, I think it is. She's on Etsy. It goes under this particular name rather than her actual name when you want to look them up. So these were cheap as well. They were not expensive. I have obviously printed them out at home. I've worked, well, as you can see, I've worked both of these ones because I've done the covers. And yeah, I've really enjoyed these little styles. I think I like these two more than the Flying Town one. The Flying Town one is a much thicker PDF, but it's still very pretty. But I quite like her little characters, and this one doesn't seem to have the characters quite so much. It's beautiful scenes, beautiful florals, lovely little objects. It's a town, so you know, they're little quirky houses, aren't they? That's what it is. Maybe this one I need to find. That's lovely, isn't it? Need to find time to work in this one particularly because I've done the start of the other two. But yeah, I think it's quite nice because obviously you can print it on whatever you like. I've just got it on my Nina cardstock. I quite like it. It'll take a little bit of water. It takes alcohol markers really well. I quite like how my pencils are working in it. I think these were the Everzar pencils that I did this with, so nothing particularly expensive, but it's gone out quite nicely with it, hasn't it? I think they've worked quite nicely with it, so yeah, I'm quite pleased. But these ones, you get these little bookmarks with it. I think it's a bonus for buying the little book PDFs. But yeah, they're just cute. I like this little girl. I think this might be my next one in this book because I quite like her with a little daisy hat thing on. And she's got a cat that also has a little daisy hat thing on. I don't know what we're calling that. But it's quite cute. Again, I suppose it's fairly easy colouring, isn't it? I could have done this with the markers. Oh yeah, it was Everzar. Look, there it is on my sticker. I could have done it with markers, but I didn't. I quite like, you know, I do like a colour pencil. I'm using my markers more at the moment on, well, we'll see on different pages. But yeah, these are nice as well, aren't they? This little cake one. I just think it's a really nice, clean looking illustration style. That's lovely. Maybe I might do that for my birthday next month, we'll see. But yeah, they're really nice. I think it's really nice drawing style. I like them. I hope to work in these a bit more. Might do cake next month because it seems appropriate. But yeah, definitely, I think this is definitely one of my favourites from last year for me. Nguyen from Etsy under the business name of Graphic, if you want to look them up. I think I did do a video just for these three. Possibly I put a link in for those. I can't remember. Then another book which I think I saw on Colouring Up North originally. God Enchantments. Again, I think this is out of print. Angela Scudamore. If I'm honest, if I'd looked at the cover, this probably isn't a book that I would have picked previously. I think it is out of print. It's worth looking for if you can find it. The quality of the printing in this is really nice. It's nice paper. It's quite patterny, and normally that would put me off, but there's something about this drawing style that really just quite appeals to me somehow. Sorry, just put my glasses on so I can see a bit better. But yeah, it's just the drawings are cute, aren't they? Look, there's a little cute frog there. I quite like the fishes. I've done a little fishy page in here you might have seen earlier on in the year. Did I see a little cute girl there? Yeah, I did, you see. There's just, yeah, there's a lot going on, and I think it is one of those books that basing the page is really quite important, otherwise you just get a little bit lost in it. Like this, just look, when you first glance at it, just like a lot of lines, doesn't it? But there's lots of little people in here. I think it's just a matter of finding the right page for it. But yeah, it's not too complicated really when you can kind of see past the patterns a little bit, and there are some more bold ones. It's quite kind of nature inspired, but I quite like that. I do quite like a nature page. I don't think it's a book I'd work in every month. I think it'd be a bit much for me personally, but it's a great book to experiment in. I think is this the book Maya's doing as a long-term whip book? I can't remember now off the top of my head, but yeah, there's some really nice little sections in it, and I think it is a book I want to play with different materials a little bit more in. Quite like the birds. I quite like birds, undersea pages, natural pages, and it has a lot of that, but in a kind of much more playful, easy way. Obviously it's the page that I did last year. This is mainly in those Artex liquid acrylic paint pens, so all the backs in the paint pens. A good chunk of the fish are in the paint pens, and then I think I did just touch up with some Artex pencils here and there just to add a little bit more depth, some of the little darker sections, because that is a pastel set of paint pens. But I mean, it's taken that really well. That paint, it's not cracking, it works really nicely on the page, and like I say, you can work over it. I've done the line work with them, I've done the base and the fishes with them. Yeah, I quite like how it's worked. I'd use them again in this book. I think it's quite a nice book to play about with different paints in. I think I want to try some watercolour paints, some metallics and things in this book over this year. I think I would work with a little mice in between the plants there. But yeah, it's very patterny. I totally get that it's not for everybody, but I think it's quite a nice kind of book to play about in, kind of very much relaxed. She's lovely, isn't she? Very much relaxed, not worrying colouring that you just want to have a bit of fun with rather than a more serious page. Oh, there's a bee page there as well, look, with lots of different pattern bits and pieces in. But yeah, I do quite like it. I think it's an interesting book. It's not really like anything else that I have in my collection. Like I say, I think it's not a book I could work in every day. I think the pattern's a bit too much for me here and there. But I think once you get going on a page, you kind of see past it a little bit. It's a good size book, same size as Joanna Basford's normal square size, so there's plenty to like in it. But yeah, I'm going to say Garden Enchantments, Angelica Scudamore, lovely book if you can find it. It's worth finding. I can't remember where I don't know if I did get this from Amazon or whether I got it from eBay in the end. I can't remember now. I suspect I got it from eBay, but Garden Enchantments is a very nice book. Then another book that I think is absolutely beautiful, and as you can see, it is in my 25 for 25 set, because I most definitely want to colour in this again. And I think I'm probably likely to get the other one, because I think there's a summer version of this book. But Desert Fox, Mysterious Travels, colouring book by Park Ueb. Sugomi, I'm not sure. Anyway, this little cute fox character, and I've done a couple in this year, but I think this is just such a lovely book. It's not a huge book, but it's not a tiny book either. That's not very descriptive either, is it? But I love the fact you get these little coloured versions. Shut up, Watch. Butting in as forever. You get these lovely coloured versions I've got some really nice effects like this. Obviously she's got these lovely little sunbeams going through to the sundial. You can do it like that, or you can do it your own way, but it gives you some nice ideas on how to go about it that I think is just really handy sometimes when you're perhaps in a bit of a colouring block. Sometimes just thinking about how they've done it like this is cute, isn't it? Like you've got all this kind of galaxy work, you've got beautiful clouds, different colours in the planets, and then him in his little inflatable unicorn. Why? Why not? But if you just looked at it like that, maybe that wouldn't have come to mind. But I'm thinking I will probably try and do it like that. I think that's cute. This has got lovely dappled sun effects in it. Like I say, I don't always do it how they've done it anyway. Sometimes I do just go my own way with it, but sometimes it's nice just to have a little idea about how somebody else has approached it, isn't it? It gives you some ideas, perhaps changes what you were thinking into a different view of it sometimes, and I think that's really quite useful. This was one of them that I did. Mine is undoubtedly a little bit brighter, isn't it? It has sadly come away. I don't know if I was just heavy-handed or what. It is a glue-bound book, so I suppose these things do happen, but I don't care. The paper is beautiful, the printing is beautiful. I love the drawing style. I love the content of it. I'm not bothered at all. But yeah, I've done the flower stem quite different now. I'm looking at it, haven't I? But yeah, really, I enjoyed working on it. And again, because they're not too huge, I don't feel like the time pressure takes away the fun from it a little bit. But I think this one's seasonal, so you have got different seasons in it. That's lovely. But lots of different things going on in the pages. Another night sky, lovely. I like it a lot. Feel a bit more like holiday travels, doesn't it, this bit at the front. This is still winking at me, this page. I like this kind of orange sunset in the rain kind of look that's going on, and then you've got the clear umbrella, the usual telephone box. Thanks. Yeah, it's a nice page. It's definitely on my list of colouring pages that I would like to try and make myself do. Oh yeah, this was the other one that I did. This one thankfully has not come out. I've done this one pretty similar, haven't I? Not changed a huge amount, maybe slightly richer tones. I suppose I've gone a little bit darker with my cherries, haven't I? But maybe that's just the way they've printed. But yeah, this was the other one that I keep winking at as well in this book. But I think it's a lovely book. What is that big sandwich? It's like a jam sandwich. It's cute. But yeah, I think likelihood is I will get the other book of this next time I do an order from over there. Beautiful book, love it a lot. Desert Fox Mysterious Travel colouring book by Park UNB. I probably said it wrong, but yeah, I got mine from Aladdin. I've no idea where that QR code takes you, go at your own risk, but the ISBN is there if you want to try and find it on Etsy or somewhere else like that. I think it's a beautiful book. Another book that has been a favourite all year really, and I'm always a bit sad showing it really, because Courier are closing their business. They're in the process of closing their business, sadly. They have just not been able to make a viable business in the current climate for a variety of different reasons. So this probably is going to be one of the last ones. Last time I checked on UK Amazon, this was still available. But obviously once their stocks have gone off Amazon, that is it. They won't be returning. They are closing. There's quite a few reductions if you're interested in any of their books, but this one in particular, I was really hoping they would do a full book of these portraits because I really love the style of this portraits. But Colouring Adventures by Courier. I've done a couple of these portraits out of this book, but there's still some. It's not the easiest to flip. There are still some in here that I haven't done, so I haven't done this one, which I would quite like to. It has a mix of all their things, so it has some of their mandalas, it has some of their wonderful little world. This one I loved doing, really enjoyed it. Her took a while. I'm not a great Sorry, I've got a bit of shadow, haven't we, from how I'm holding it, but it's a bit tricky book to flip. But yeah, I did enjoy doing that one. And I think I've done, as you can see, quite a few of these are labelled to be done. Quite like to do that one this year. Cheeky pig reading a story there. Oh, goodness. Sorry. This is a battle I'm losing. It's the downside of cardstock, isn't it? Another one, obviously thinking about doing these fabrics and some kind of decoration. Quite a challenge to work through as well. Another of the portraits that I do really like. More of the little world ones. Oh, I can't separate the pages. Have I just missed one? Oh yeah, another lovely one. But yeah, I really like the portraits in this book. I think that they're some of my most favourite portraits. Not done a huge amount of portraits over this year. Also a lovely one, isn't it? I'm hoping whoever's drawn these starts to think about doing a book for themselves, because it's a shame if not, isn't it? I cannot separate this page. There we go. Yeah, got there in the end. So yeah, I did this one. I think it's a base of markers. I can't even remember what pencils I've used now. Have I still got the thing on? It looks like a mix of luminance and Holbein, acrylic markers and super golden markers. That's what I've used on there. And obviously a base of alcohol markers. And that's the nice thing with this. This cardstock is super smooth, so it's really nice to put alcohol marker pens on, because the surface is so nice. Cheeky insects there. This one I'm looking forward to. I've had this in my colouring plans so many times and I've just kept chicking out, so I don't want to spoil it. But it's lovely. There is a lot of her though, which, like I say, got to be in the right mood for her. I quite like these florals though. That I think would be my second favourite of their books, is the floral mandalas book. I've worked in that quite a bit as well. But yes, the lovely Colouring Adventures book by Collier is one of my favourites just because of these portraits. I really like them. It's a lovely book. I'd like to say, I think there are still some copies available if you want it, but once they're gone, they're gone. Then what else? Well, I don't think you can mention 2024 in colouring without mentioning some kind of 8x8 Amazon printed books, can you? Because obviously these have been huge this year. I've done a lot of colouring. I think this is probably one of my favourites. Love Monsters, just because it's silly. It's very, very silly. I've done one this month, so I need to be careful, otherwise I'm going to give you a view of the one I've done to try and avoid my tag that's in here. But yeah, it's just playful, silly, easy colouring. Hiding that page. You're not seeing it. Easy colouring that's just a bit daft. And I'm just really enjoying some of these. Getting to use my markers a bit more. And then I think this was Prismas over the top from memory. But yeah, I'm just enjoying them. They're fun. They're a little bit silly. They're nice and relaxing. Yes, they probably are a bit childish. I cannot say they're not. But yeah, they're just pleasurable. There's no stress in it. It's just easy peasy, fun, relaxing colouring. And I think Kay's doing this one this month. I'm quite looking forward to see what she does with it. I've done one in this month, but obviously an entirely different one. Did this one at Halloween. Again, just fun. Just really enjoying the fun of them. So that one I've been loving. I've done a couple in Gummy and Pecky. I was going to work in it this month, but I think it's looking unlikely because I've done the other one and a couple of the other bits. I quite like this one as well for the same reasons. It's just silly. I think I do prefer them when the line work is a bit thinner, and I prefer them when there's a bit more detail. That I've definitely realised over the last 2 months that I've been working in these. This one wasn't as much fun to do. It's just felt a bit too big for me, so I think that's something I'm going to keep my eye out of. This one, I think I've done one in this one as well this month. This one's Cozy Routine by Kiki's. Again, I'll just try and stop before I get to the page that I've done. But there's some cute ones in this one, and this one's a little bit different, I think. Gives you a little bit slightly different. That's a kind of standard one, isn't it? But I quite enjoyed doing that one. Hold on, what page are we on? No, we're alright. I can't remember what page I've done in it. I think it's behind a page that I've already done. I do quite fancy doing one of these little supermarket ones. And I've got to invent something to put in all the bottles and things, haven't you? So, I don't know. Maybe that's a bit more brain power than I can be bothered with. But yeah, that's the one I've just done. This is this month that we're skipping past, so you can't see it. You'll have to wait till the end of the month for that one. But yeah, I've enjoyed some of these. I will undoubtedly buy a few more of them. I've not got hundreds, but I do have a few of these 8x8 squares by different people. Who is Nguyen PDF by? Vivi Tinta. Obviously there's loads on Amazon, isn't it? I think just make sure you know what you're buying, that it's not an AI one, or there's quite a bit of stealing going on from what I've seen on other channels of people that have bought one and it's already a book they've got and it's stolen content. So it's just making sure you're reading the reviews before you buy the ones that you're interested in, so that it's an okay purchase. What else have I got out? So these are, again, these are not new books by Kronheimer. Oh, hello, giving you a sneak peek of what I've just been working on. Dope. Kronheimer. So I've got all these of hers, and I do have some larger books of hers, but I think these are my favourite, these kind of smaller ones. So I think I got this one first. I think I saw it on Doodle Robot first, which was it Ballet or was it Princess? No, it was Princess. It was Princess I saw on Doodle Robot. And so, yeah, I thought that's a pretty book. I don't think I was expecting a huge amount for it, but the paper in it is really nice. It's quite good in terms of using different media. It's reasonably smooth, but my pencils still seem to work really nicely on it. I've done this one. I think this is in Holbein's. Have I left my thing in? No, I haven't. I think it's Holbein's. Looking at the pinks, they look like Holbein pinks to me. And I've used a little bit of Renaissance watercolour paints from Etsy. I do like her paints. You layer them, it's just so beautiful. But I was a bit worried about how the paper would be, but again, I don't know how easy it is to show you, but it's hardly even made any kind of texture impression at all on that paper. It's taken that really nicely. So yeah, I'm quite happy that I could use a bit more watercolour in here. I did colour pencil this background, but I'm semi-thinking the next time I do one of these pages I might try with a little bit of watercolour in it, because it seemed to have taken that quite nicely. But they're just really pretty books. They're not too complicated. The drawings are lovely. Yeah, they're books that I really quite like. I think some of these unfortunately are out of print, so it's just look at the drawer whether you can find one of these or not. Really, it's a bit tricky to get hold of some of them. Always worth having a look on eBay to see if some pop up, because they are the kind of books that ends up in second-hand book sellers, just because I don't think they sold too well to begin with. So this one, like I say, I hadn't worked in this one. I have just been working. I'm not quite finished on this page. I'm going to try and keep hold of it so I don't give it away. But yeah, it's another really pretty book. I'm thinking I might work in this for February as well, because this is a double page that I've started. Trying to avoid it now, sorry. Yeah, I've got a double page, but I'm not going to do the double. I'm just doing one side of it today. But yeah, they're really lovely books. Out of all of them, probably this one isn't my favourite, but I still like some of it. It's slightly different. I think if you like colouring figures and clothing and things like that, I think it's a nice book. The faces are only small in it, so it's not a huge big deal to do something with their faces. But yeah, I think it's a really nice set. I'm enjoying working on them. The paper is lovely. They're not massive. Yeah, I really like these sets by Kronheimer. They're Buster books. The Princess, the Ballet, Fairy and Fashion Through Time, I think are a really nice set together. What else? Books are sliding at me now. This one, I don't know if I got this last year or the year before, but I've definitely enjoyed working in it, and it is one of those books that I pick up regularly to put in my colouring plans. Spooky Colouring Book by Sarah Sawecki. I probably said that wrong, sorry. I do like this. Look at the state of what I've done to it already. But yeah, these Page Street Publishing books are on lovely paper. It's nicely bound. Like to definitely see some more books by them, but I've enjoyed this particular illustrator. I really like the style of it. They're fun little pages. Again, it's not a massive book, it doesn't take ages. The paper quality is so nice. You can play about a little bit with different materials to see what you enjoy working. I have tended to just work in coloured pencils because I've enjoyed doing that with them. But they're just really lovely books, aren't they? They're really, I think that was the Arteasers. They always look a little bit paler, I think, when I come back to them compared to, I think that was my Holbeins, and that's my Arteasers, and it's definitely a bit paler, isn't it, in the way it's kept the colour on the paper. But yeah, I really like this book. I think the drawings are lovely in it. I want to do some more in this year. Normally a spooky book, I'd keep just for October, but this doesn't feel like that kind of book. It feels like one you can pick up any time of the year. There's something that feels appropriate. Spooky colouring book, I think it's lovely. It's normally on Amazon, but the ISBN's there should you need it. What else have we got? Another one that I think is a beautiful book. There is a whole flip of this on the channel if you want to look for it. Whispering Stories of Dolls, Sewn with Colour Pencils, Quilting Doll Book by Grim member Lee Hee Won. I've only done one in this, but it's purely out of fear of making a mess. It is an absolutely beautiful book. I've shown it a few times on the channel. I'm not going to hang around with it. That is the one I've done. I think I did it in Prismas. This book uses Prismas as the example at the beginning. I think they've done them on a larger format when they've actually done the drawings and shrunk them for this book, because some of the details are a bit tricky at this size, but the actual examples are just so pretty. I love the colour work in it. It's bright, it's vivid, rich, warm colours. Just, yeah, it's right up my street. I think it's beautiful. I'd like to see myself doing a bit more in this book this year, because it's a really cute little comfy book. But the paper, smooth, but again, I think you probably get away with a little bit of water on this if you're careful. Not tried it yet. Don't know if am I too chicken to try it. I might try it in the back somewhere just to see how well it takes it, but there's just some absolutely stunning pages in this book. And if you're interested in learning your kind of pattern work for your other books, this book does really nice little pattern examples here at the front as well that you can practice with. So it shows you the drawn, it shows you the coloured, and obviously you can work directly onto this, or you could draw these out and have a go with markers if you want to add patterns. It shows you how to add the patterns onto an actual three-dimensional object, which again is great practice if you're not used to it. Shows you how to do all different types of patterned fabrics, and then, like I say, I think it is in Prismacolors. It gives the examples of some of the colours they've used, and then a little, I'm presuming this is the titles of the page, but it's a really beautiful book. ISBN, if you're interested, is there. But yeah, I think I got it from Aladdin, mine. Again, there is a full flip of this, proper slower flip on the channel. The link will be in there, but beautiful book. I always call it Quilted Doll Colouring Book rather than the long title, but it is a beautiful book. What else? The other books that I've enjoyed. I always think of these as a pair when I'm selecting them. I don't just pick one out, I pick them both. They are different illustrators, but they just feel like they should be together. They're the same little small size. This one, Hello Forest Friends by Jo Borum, lovely. And Colouring Book for a Bright Day Together by Rainy Park. I love both of these. They are on lovely paper. Sadly, it does not take the watercolour well, but they're so cute. Little simple, again, I suppose it is in that cosy kind of warm, comfortable, happy little pages. Look at that, just so lovely. You can follow the examples. Generally, when I've been working in them, I've followed the examples, but then I've kind of warmed up the colour palette a little bit, just because I do like my colours a little bit brighter, and this has quite a muted kind of vintage look to the way that the illustrations are done in it, which I like, but it's not me, so you've got to do you sometimes, haven't you? Yeah, as you can see, my watercolour, even though this has been in the bookcase now for a while, it's still a little bit wibbly wobbly, but I'm okay with it. I'm living with it. Maybe I might try the iron on it one day, but it will affect with the waxes and the pencil, so I'll probably just live with it. But yeah, as you can see, it's quite kind of cream on this background. I've done this kind of soft summer green in the background. I've put a bit more blue in my water. I've given these cute little hippos a bit of pink just to warm them up a little bit. But it's fine, isn't it? It's okay not doing it exactly the same. It's your book. You can have it how you want it. But I just think they're so cute. Like this one, I'd like to do. There's so many in here I'd like to do. This one's amazing. It's just such a cute book. I have really enjoyed it. All the pages I've done in here. The line work in this feathers took a little bit of time, but I really enjoyed it. I've done basically the same. I've done slightly warmer green tones, and I've a bit more yellow in his hat, a bit more yellow in the flowers, because they were supposed to be completely white on there, aren't they? But I've done me with it. That's fine. But yeah, that's the first one. This one, also love. This one's got a bit more colour in it, but it's still quite a vintage kind of palette to it. Again, there's flips on the channel of it. I'll go a little bit quicker. I've done that one, which again, ignoring all my daft bits. I think I did translate it just to try and understand. Right, I'm not missing anything. It's okay if I change things. But yeah, I've just warmed the palette up a little bit. Changed the curtains. It's my book. I'll do it how I want it. Same with that. Used a bit more yellow rather than cream. But yeah, you could definitely use your alcohol markers in this book. It just, unfortunately, you use your alcohol markers on this page, you're going to obliterate the page on the back, which is quite often the drawing for the next page. But as long as you don't mind that, or you could photograph the page first before you work on the one in front, couldn't you? So you've still got an image of it if you want that. I'll probably try a bit of water-based markers in this, I think, at some point, just to speed up some of the background spaces. But they're not big pages, so it's not the end of the world if I end up doing them both in pencil. I quite enjoy doing both of these in pencil. But yeah, Hello Forest Friends by John Barham and Colouring Book for a Bright Day Together by Rainey Park. I shall ISBN them both. I think both of mine were from Aladdin. They're a little bit small, aren't they? Maybe that will help if I do them one by one. And there you go. And then, probably the last set are fairly predictable for me this year. So, I have worked a lot in Mini Mania. This one, which is 3. These ones are newer to me, 4 and 5. But 3 I have worked a lot in. It is looking pretty bedraggled, but I have really enjoyed, let's get to the half point, I have really enjoyed working in Mini Mania. Again, I think it's just that relaxing, comfortable, not colouring that you're worrying about, it's just a bit of fun. This entire book is in Derwent Chroma Flows, and mainly just that, Derwent Chroma Flows, some acrylic pens, paint pens, and a bit of sparkle occasionally, like that's got a little bit of glitter in the mushrooms here and there, but not a huge amount. I don't use a huge amount in these, but yeah, just basic pencil work, just all pencil work with some line work taken out with the pens. I've not used the pens for backgrounds or anything like that, just all in pencil. That is a colour along on the channel if you want to do it for that. Amazingly, I don't do them very often, but yeah, I must have been enjoying this book that I did that. I think that was my first one in this book. Is that it? I can't remember. Oh no, a couple more. Yeah, so I've done quite a few for me in Mini Mania 3. I've not touched 5 yet, that was fairly new to me. I'll just do it very quick. It's been seen to death, hasn't it? I'm sure. This one feels a bit more bold compared to that one now. I've just flipped them together. But there's still, like, that's a cute page, isn't it? That is a cute page. There's still some pages that, yeah, really interest me. Yeah, they do feel a bit bigger, these ones. Might use a bit of markers in this one rather than just all pencil, because those backgrounds have taken ages. And this one, I think I did a buddy with Kay, that I've just done that one. This one I did enjoy as well. It's got quite a bit of super golden marker in the gold bits and pieces. I don't know why I've still got that in, we don't need that in now. But yeah, haven't come back to this one yet. I think I'm having a bit of a Gabby Wolf break this month, because I've pretty much done her every month since about maybe April, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm having a Gabby Wolf break at the moment, but I have no doubt these will be back to do some more, because I really have enjoyed these Mini Mania books, particularly the first one. I kind of now feel like I want to get this one finished. Still got a long way to go, haven't I? There's still a good maybe 15 images to do, but maybe someday. But yeah, I have, because it's been in and out of my book. It is a bit grubby looking, in and out of my bag all the time. And then my last book, which perhaps was quite predictable, I think is undoubtedly the standard the whole colouring books need to try and reach to. Fairy Tales of Folklore colouring book. What an amazing reprint of this book. Emily Leidenhall-Oberg. I'd kind of given up ever being able to get this book, and then they have come and saved us. But now I'm looking. Look, my gold print is rubbing off there, look. Not that I care. It's a beautiful book. I think the paper's lovely. Oh, I've done one this month. I'll have to swerve that as well. Paper's lovely. The drawings are just, again, they're just interesting. They're a little bit different. Hold on, let me get past that page. There we go. It has slightly crumpled my page, but not too badly. I've used a little bit of watercolour in the background this month, but I just think it's lovely. There's about 1 million flips on YouTube, isn't there? So I'm not going to hang about, but it's definitely a favourite book. I shall enjoy seeing this start to get a bit more full. I've done that one, which I think is in my Holbeins, and it's got a little bit of glitter on her head, which is not showing up at all. It's quite soft. And then I've done that one as well in this book, which I'm thinking she's a little bit bright now I look back at her, but I did enjoy doing her that bright, so yeah. These are nice as well, but every page in here I look at and think, yes, I want to do that page, I want to do that page, I want to do that page. They're all just too good. But yeah, so many books, so little time, but I love them all. But yeah, I think these are my 10 kind of favourites from 2024. Not all newly published, some newly published, definitely some were newly published. But books that I've really enjoyed working in over 2024, that when I look at them on the bookshelf, they give me that, oh yeah, I want to pull that one out, because I really enjoyed doing that page. I like how it looks, I like how it takes the material. It's a pleasure to put stuff in them. I don't love the Amazon paper, but because I'm doing a bit more marker work in it, it's kind of working for me okay, and I'm tolerating it. Prismers, Don't Chroma Flows, it's kind of working for me. at the moment. We'll see how long it gets. You can always reprint it onto something a bit better, can't you, if you're not enjoying the paper. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed seeing a few of my favourites. Probably sick to death of seeing some of them. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.